President Obama led the call for cooling the heated political climate in the country. But with Congress returning this week with a hot-button debate right off the bat, will lawmakers be able to keep their cool? David Curley's on Capitol Hill this morning with the latest. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Bianna. Members are coming back to the Hill after Republicans received high praise for taking off that week, putting off work for a week to mourn the tragedy in Tucson. But as you mentioned, with health care being the first issue, will there really be more civility in the chamber?
It's back to work with plenty of talk of changing the talk in Washington. In this morning's Washington Post, Republican Senator John McCain calls for members to behave more modestly and courteously and respectfully toward one another. That echoes the president.
Because before we are Democrats or Republicans, we are Americans.
And Democratic leaders.
To temper our words and respect those with whom we disagree.
That could be hard when the first piece of business is what is expected to be a nasty battle over health care. In fact, the Republican bill is even called repeal of the job-killing health care law.
This is a job-killing bill.
Job-killing legislation.
But yesterday, a week after the Tucson tragedy, when Speaker John Boehner talked about the agenda, he changed a word, dropping the word killing and saying his colleagues will try to overturn what he called the Democrats' job-destroying spending spree. Is that an indication of the change of tone, a return to civility so many have called for? Sources say don't make too much of the word change, adding Republicans don't plan to change the name of the bill. And don't expect someone to yell that at the State of the Union, where the president is expected to again push civility. In fact, a Democrat's call that rather than sit apart, Republicans and Democrats mingle, is gathering some support. John McCain has signed on. So while everyone is talking about talking nicer, will we actually see a change in Washington's ways?
And I think there's a sense that there's going to be a change in tone, but there's not going to be a change in policy, and there's not going to be a change in the polarizing nature of this body.
And a polarizing issue that's been getting some attention since the shooting is gun control. There is a chance it will end up on the agenda of this Congress. Bianna?
All right, David, thank you. So the big question is, will the civility hold? I'm joined now by the Daily Beast senior political columnist John Avlon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in. Well, that is the big question. Will this cause a change in era in Washington politics?
Look, that's the challenge, that's the opportunity, and it's clearly what the American people want. This is important. Even before this tragedy in Tucson, 93% of Americans said they wanted to see less partisan infighting in Washington. But it's that other 70%, 7%, the professional partisans, the professional polarizers that keep seeming to hijack our political debates. They are deeply addicted to division, and it's a matter of changing that culture of hyperpartisanship in Washington. It's not going to happen overnight, but it really is a priority for the American people, and the parties better wake up to it.
Well, as we've seen the president sort of shift more towards center, is this an opportunity for Republicans to meet him halfway, to sort of go more left towards center, and would they seize upon it?
It is an opportunity. I wouldn't hold your breath on them seizing on it. But look, divided government gives the opportunity and the obligation for checks and balances. The only legislation that's going to pass is one that's built on common ground. So the challenge for both Republicans and Democrats is to define that common ground and build on it. Fiscal responsibility may be one area to do it. Keep an ear out for that in the State of the Union.
But it's not just the rhetoric that comes out of Washington. There are outside factors today. We know bloggers, media, even Roger Ailes told his own on-air talent to tone down the rhetoric. Is that something we're going to see going forward as well, or is this a sort of short-term temporary fix?
Look, I think the rise of partisan media has been a serious contributing factor to the polarization of American politics. They encourage it, right? The whole formula for talk radio is using conflict, tension, fear, and resentment to drum up ratings. So it's going to require a major pushback to do a course correction. But the vast majority of the American people do want to see a change from that tone. So it's time that we start rewarding those folks who reach across the aisle and holding the folks who professionally polarize and throw bombs accountable.
Well, we shall see. You're not holding your breath, though.
I'm going to fight for it, but I'm not going to wait and hold my breath passively now.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.